Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. How you feeling? How you doing? How y'all feeling? If you know, you know. If you have been rocking with us for a minute, you know that we have wanted this to come to pass for a long time. We have wanted this to come to pass for a freaking long time, people. We have wanted Baleba to be a Manchester United player. I've been saying this for the longest freaking time. For the longest time. And the beautiful part about this situation is that my hopes and dreams are coming true. Who said dreams can't come true? Because Carlos Baleba is going to be a Man United player. I'm so excited. I'm so gassed for this. You guys don't even understand. You don't even understand. Manchester United might have just gotten their own personal, their personal Yaya Toure. We missed out on Yaya Toure when he was moving from Barcelona and coming to Manchester, but did not know that there was also a Manchester team on that other side. We might just be getting our own Yaya Toure. I need you guys to peep this. This is not a situation where we move without the excitement. Don't let anybody trick you to thinking that Carlos Baleba is not going to be a game changer for Manchester United. Don't let anybody do that to you. Don't let anybody do that to you. Because for the love of God, when I'm telling you that Manchester United have gotten and have put themselves in a position where they can challenge for the title, maybe not this year because I think they're trying to get them to know each other, but definitely, absolutely, definitely next season. Definitely next season because of this signing. I need you guys to understand this. I truly do. I truly believe that he's that good of a player. This man can do so much on the pitch. He can do so much on the pitch. I need you guys to pip his game, pip what he does best. For the love of God, I wish, I wish people could understand what Manchester United are getting in Carlos Baleba. He's not just a perfect destroyer. He is not just the perfect destroyer. Let's break it down because I think people are beginning to think that we don't do this for real. Like we don't do this for real. Let's break it down. Manchester United are about to spend 65 million pounds on a central midfielder who scored 0 goals, registered 0 assists, and picked up 5 yellow cards last season. We know that for a fact. You understand? It is pretty clear. We understand it. But what this guy brings to this team, hmm, what he brings to this team, people would not understand. You understand? Okay, let's first, before we go into talking about Carlos Baleba fully, let's actually talk about what happened in this story. Um, so the opening bid for Manchester United, which Dave Ornstein came out, and we are always going to follow Dave Ornstein about what he says in this situation. So let's look at what Dave Ornstein says here. Dave Ornstein says, exclusive, Manchester United are closing in on a deal to sign Carlos Baleba from Brighton Hove Albion. That's what Dave Ornstein says. We believe Dave Ornstein wholeheartedly. You know that. You know that for goddamn sure. So he says this. And the beautiful thing about, sorry guys, let me set this up real quick before we go on. I just got a text and I just need to send it out before we continue. So bear with us. Okay, now we are back. We are back because we need to absolutely make this clear for people in the back to understand. Manchester United are closing in on a deal to sign Carlos Baleba from Brighton Hove Albion. Manchester United offered a 22-year-old Cameroonian midfielder is around 60 plus 5 million pounds below the Brighton Hove Albion valuation. But Amicable talks continue as parties work to reach agreement. So that is what we know in this situation. What's up, Joshua? How you doing? Baleba to Manchester United. Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's the beautiful part that we're talking about right now. And so this makes sense. So first break down what is happening based on what Dave Ornstein is saying. Now, the money is not up to what Brighton Hove Albion actually want for Baleba. So that's why this deal is not done yet. But they said amicable talks continue. Amicable talks, based on what we are hearing or based on what we are seeing, basically means that um, yes, they have not gotten an agreement, but they also have not rejected it. It's a situation where they are saying, okay, we are close to getting an agreement, so let's make a deal worth signing. That's basically what they're talking about in this situation. And that's the beautiful part about it. Because my goodness, Carlos Baleba to Manchester United is absolutely insane. Guys, give me a second. Oh my God, there's so many things. Bear in mind, I'm just coming back um, from the days run around, and then I had to come and talk about this because so I'm a little bit around the place right now. So guys, bear with us. Um, Joshua says, but the question is, do we want him to do what we need him to do? But the question is, do we want him to do it? What is the question? What do we need him to do? Because I think Carlos Baleba is arguably the best number 6 out here. And the funny thing about this guy is that he can do more than just being the number 6. He can do more than just being the number 6. You get me? He's technically, in my mind, based on the way he plays football, is more of a number 10. Sorry, not a number 10, but a number 8 than a number 6. That's how good he is. He does have the abilities to be that number 6 player, being the what they call it, the bruiser, the destroyer. But trust me when I say this, Carlos Baleba, his ability to move with the ball is remarkable. Joshua says we have got Andre Santos, Tillemans, Ugarte, Meno, Bruno Meno, and Mount. I don't know what you mean in that situation because I think him coming in, this all these players you mentioned, right? All these players you mentioned are still particularly not Carlos Baleba. All of them are technical players. All of them are really good players. Don't get it twisted. But Carlos Baleba is a different breed to all those players that you mentioned. You get. So this is really good news for me. It's really good news for me that the situation has absolutely gone. And the funny thing about this situation is that Man United are still in, and this is the best part of it. Man United are still arguably in for Lewis Hall and a backup striker. I can't wait. This is what we are talking about. This kind of moves are what we are talking about for Manchester United. We need to go into the situation and just get things done the right way. I've been speaking on Carlos Baleba for the longest time. For the longest time. It says here by Fabrizio Romano, right? It says here by Fabrizio Romano that Carlos Baleba made it clear to his camp he only dream his only dream since August 2025 is Manchester United. Baleba agreed personal terms with Manchester United 1 year ago, but Brighton Hove Albion closed the doors. Now negotiations are at the final stages. The agreement player to United remains valid. He only wants Manchester United. I need you guys to understand how good this is. Not just good because of Man United are making moves, but good because we still have those situations where players want to come to Man United. And that's the best part. That's what I feel in this situation. Joshua says, Maguire says Man United are going to win the Premier League. I believe we can. we were about to sign Edison, but Baleba is a good tackling midfielder. He is. I think Baleba truly is going to be better. And now this can be taken and this could be clipped. But me personally, right, I believe in this guy's talent so much. Let me even say this. If you think that, if you were part of the people that, I mean, a year ago, a year ago, yes, before last summer or before last season, believed in Carlos Baleba and wanted Man United to pay 100 million for Carlos Baleba, and all of a sudden one season convinces you that Carlos Baleba is not a good player again, I don't really think you believed in Carlos Baleba. I really don't think you believed in Carlos Baleba. That is how crazy this situation is. That right there is how crazy you think this situation is. It said how much to sign Carlos Baleba. I believe the deal is going to be around 70 million. I think that's going to be the total package. It's going to be around 70 million based on what I'm seeing so far. Based on what I'm seeing so far, I believe it's going to be around 70 million. Now, that's a total package. But I truly need you guys to understand when I'm talking about Carlos Baleba, he is that good of a player. He is that good of a football player. You understand? The terms were done. You get me? Terms were done already. Um, Carrick, of course, this will be Carrick's fourth signing, uh, fourth signing in this summer. The medicals, I believe, is going to be situated and is going to be planned soon. We just need to see this actually get done. But this is where I need Manchester United to focus on. Manchester United fans to focus on, because I believe Carlos Baleba, right? Carlos Baleba has, this is actually what he brings to Manchester United. Without going too in depth of this whole situation, because I think we can then focus and make a video about this. We are looking at someone that can bring ball carrying. You understand? He has the ability, he has the skill set to carry the ball. His physical dominance. Let's start with the ball carrying first. Ball carrying for Carlos Baleba, this is his standout trait. Nobody does it better than Carlos Baleba in this situation. In the Premier League right now, based on the way he moves, this is his standout trait. He has combined carries with take-ons 19 times, second to only Enzo Fernandez among Premier League defensive midfielders. This is what he does. This is what he moves as. You understand? That is Carlos Baleba. And then you look at his physical dominance. His shoulder-to-shoulder strength is among the best in the world. It's nearly impossible to knock off the ball. Nearly impossible. The dude is made from the best of Africans' stock. Athletic to the T. And then you look at his defensive output. Last season, right? He had 37 tackles, 29 interceptions, and 6 blocks across 31 appearances. A profile built firmly on defensive work over attacking output. And that's not to say that he cannot attack. Because I need you guys to understand that this guy, people do not understand. When I say Yaya Toure, this guy is the next coming of Yaya Toure. People do not get me. People are not figuring out what I'm trying to say in this situation. Yaya Toure at Barcelona was a defensive midfielder. Yaya Toure at Barcelona was used as the centre back at one point. He was used as a centre back at one point at Barcelona. And he moved from Barcelona, came to Manchester City, and all hell broke loose. Because all of a sudden we saw the greatness that Yaya Toure had in his game. That is what Carlos Baleba is. That right there is what Carlos Baleba can do for Manchester United. I need you guys to lock in. To lock in. Joshua says United need to focus on the injuries too. Much player getting injured. The truth about injuries is that it's a hard situation to talk about. But remind me, We will talk about that a little bit after we're speaking about Carlos Baleba because we have a lot of transfers that we have to cover today. Joshua also says we were about to sign Anderson and then Manchester City snatched him away. Then Baleba came our hero. The truth about it is that I don't think we were going to sign Anderson at all. I don't think we were going to sign Anderson. He never wanted to come to United. Let's be frank. Let's not beat around the bush about the situation. But the focus is not even Anderson. We don't need to talk about Anderson. Let's talk about Carlos Baleba. That is what we need to talk about. And you know the funny thing that people do not give Carlos Baleba credit for? It's his ability to do the line breaking passes. Nobody really talks about that ability for Carlos Baleba. I understand that Carlos Baleba is seen as that defender or that midfielder that all he brings to the team is his strength and his ability to knock people off the ball, his ability to get the ball, to recover the ball. That is one of the best things that he does. But to be honest with you guys, when you look at a player, a 22-year-old player, and you understand the talent that he has, the understanding that this man can actually get better, we can actually be seeing a world-class player within our eyes in the troves of being a young player. You need to understand, and then you would realize how good this could be, how good this guy could be. Because through the midfield, through final ball, end product is still the polished area scouts point to. You understand? Those are still the places that he needs to get better at. And that's no doubt about it. He needs to get better at figuring out those end products, figuring out how to pass the ball out between the lines. But one thing that he doesn't need to figure out is the engine that he carries. There's a reason why Chelsea Football Club hit the head with N'Golo Kante. There's a reason why Chelsea Football Club played the amount of money to bring Moises Caicedo. Those players are absolutely crucial in you winning the league. It's the reason why Arsenal paid 105 million pounds. 105 million pounds for Declan Rice. That, those reasons are the reasons why Arsenal were able to win the Premier League last year. Joshua says about what are you streaming tomorrow? Well, we'll see the stories that comes out for the most part, but what we are going to be focusing on for right now is going to be Manchester United, looking at Man United and the season that they might going to have, and how if we are ready basically because tomorrow is Thursday. Man United's first game is going to be on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, or Saturday. Saturday, I believe. So yeah, but the truth about this Carlos Baleba situation is that I need people to understand how good this guy could be. Because we are not even scratching the surface of Carlos Baleba to Manchester United. We're not scratching the surface of Carlos Baleba to Manchester United. So let's see the excitement because we need to follow what excitement we are seeing so far at in the what they call it, the X. You get me? That's what we want to go through right now because I want to see the energy that people are putting out there. You get me? I want to see the energy. All right, let's begin and let's look at this. Frank says, I know Frank Era, this is someone that I don't know if he's an agitator or whatever they call it, but he says, Man United Amazon Prime cameras officially went live this morning. Parenting coinciding with Carlos Baleba's news breaking. Staff in every department were in shock by it, apart from the recruitment team who had all smiles on their faces. Solly basically talks down. Absolutely. I'm ready for this. I love the fact that even the staff inside Manchester United do not know what is happening. And we all understand that fact. Even the staff inside Manchester United do not know what the recruitment team is doing. Applaudissez. Applaudissez for Manchester. Eh? Applaudissez. This is what we are talking about. This is the best things. When you move in silence, you move correct. When you move, you don't need to let everybody know where you're moving to, how you're moving, or what players you're going to get. That's what we need to do. And the funny thing about it is that Fabrizio Romano has also come out and said Manchester United summer is absolutely not over. They are expected to do more on different targets. A left back and a striker is being looked at. And a striker is being looked at. Come on. Come on. What are you telling me? What are you telling me? Now the funny thing about this situation is, let's see United trade, because he's one of the funniest Twitter guys for that support Manchester United. I look at. He says my midfield is Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Menu, Yuri Tillemans, Carlos Baleba, and Andre Santos. Let's hear what they're saying in this situation.
I'm so emotional right now.
Me too.
I am too. I am too. I am emotional right now too, Trey. I am too. I bloody am too. I'm excited for this. I don't know if you guys are not excited, but I am excited for this. I've been speaking on Baleba for the longest time. For the longest time. I've been speaking about Carlos Baleba for the longest time, guys. I'm telling you. If there's one thing that we know for sure, is that I've been speaking on Carlos Baleba for the longest time, that Manchester United need to bring him back into the fold. We need to be looking to bring Carlos Baleba to Manchester United. He's a talent we should not let go. If you think I'm joking, I'm going to even show you guys the video here. I've been speaking on this guy for the longest. Ever since everybody kind of went their way and were not trusting in the likes of Baleba anymore because Manchester United, or he had a tough season last season. You don't focus on evaluating talent on one particular season. You don't do that. That's not how you focus on finding the right person to come to Manchester United. Not for me anyway. Because personally, when you look at a team, I have to look at, bro, what have you done? What was the best thing that we saw from you this while? And the best thing that we saw from Carlos Baleba was one of the best seasons that we have seen from a young midfielder ever in the Premier League. And that alone, that freaking situation alone was convincing enough for me to say, look, we need to get this guy. I don't care what the situation is. Don't care what the situation is. We need to get this guy. Manchester United have. This was the video. You understand? Look at this video right here. I'm going to see if I can show you guys. But this was the video here. Man United want Kone, but Carlos Baleba is the midfielder they really need. That was my title that I put there. That was my title for this YouTube video. It was very clear to me who I need. And that was not it. I spoke about this in February 19th. We spoke about this February 19th. I said Manchester United need Carlos Baleba. It's not about a want in this situation. It was a need that I felt we needed. We need Carlos Baleba. It's not even a situation where I was thinking, oh, he might come and be good. I believe in this guy's talents so much that bro, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I would put everything that he is going to be a success. I can even arguably say here that I believe he's going to be a better signing than Sandro Tonali to Tottenham Hotspur. I'm serious. I'm not even joking in this situation. I'm not joking in this situation. I believe he's going to be a better signing than Sandro Tonali to Tottenham Hotspur. That is how much I believe in this guy's talent. And I need every single person to lock into, because when I'm talking about Carlos Baleba, I need you guys to understand the beauty in what this guy provides. Every single team. Every single team that he plays for. Now, don't get it twisted. Last season was a tough one for him. Last season was a tough one for him. You understand? It was a tough one for Carlos Baleba. I'm not going to lie. But the question is, where was Carlos Baleba playing? What position was he playing? Not the position that he was playing under, what's his name? Um, De Zerbi. It was not the position that he was playing under De Zerbi. It wasn't. This is this right here was his speed map, a big hit map. This was his hit map. You get. Let me see if I can show this a little bit better. This right here was his heat map. That is Carlos Baleba's heat map. And bear in mind, the truth about Carlos Baleba in this heat map is not even doing him justice. Because this season was his worst season out of the 3 seasons that he has played in the Premier League. Or 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. This season here was the worst one. But let's go back. Let's look at 2025, 2024. This is the Carlos Baleba I know. Same thing, but this time he's moving crazy in that left-hand side. And this is the key part that a lot of people will not tell you about, that we are going to tell you here on Pillar Sports. The heat map shows that Carlos Baleba has the ability on that left-hand side to increase the pace. Manchester United, the entire Manchester United is focused on right-footed midfielders. And so we revolt or resort or default to playing the ball on that right-hand side. We default to playing the ball on the right-hand side. And it's not a bad thing that Manchester United play on the right-hand side because we have the likes of Brian Mbeumo on that right-hand side. We have Ahmad on that right-hand side. And majority of the things that we do play on the right-hand side. But this is where the key thing comes to play. Carlos Baleba, coming into this Manchester United side, will bring the balance that we need. He will bring the balance that we need because now we will be able to be attacking on the left-hand side because he has the ability to move on the left-hand side. He's left-footed. He's a lefty in the middle of the pack that has a pace of a winger. For the love of God, can't you guys lock in to understand what I'm talking about here? We need people to be excited. We should be more excited for this than any other person, any other team signing any player right now. In fact, I can pull my chest and say, if everything goes well, Carlos Baleba might just become the best signing of this summer. Based on the amount of money that they paid for him, based on how much he will be able to do for Manchester United, Carlos Baleba might just be the best signing of the summer. The steal of the summer, in my mind, no doubt about it. The trophy that Sonny Lemons got last season, being the best signing of the best transfer of the summer, I believe Carlos Baleba is going to be that. That is how much I believe in this cat. That is how much I believe in this cat. I'm telling you. So let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted at all. At all, because my goodness, this is a steal of the highest order. Carlos Baleba next season is going to become or is going to be looked at as a £100 million player. No doubt about it. I'm not saying this with any ifs, buts, or maybes. Carlos Baleba next season is going to be regarded. He's going to be regarded as £100 million player, and we might be getting Carlos Baleba for 65. We might be getting Carlos Baleba for 60 flipping 5. Oh, you guys don't understand how excited I am. Everybody was talking about Kone this, Kone that, Kone this, Kone that. Like as if we are cones. I look at this game, I look at what Carlos Baleba did, and the game that comes to mind has to be Manchester City. He has to be Manchester City. I looked at Carlos Baleba in that Manchester City game, coming off the bench, and what he was able to do in 45 minutes of play. Oh Lord of mercy. In fact, let's look back at it. You understand? Let's look back at it because maybe people are sleeping on Carlos Baleba, man. People are really sleeping on Carlos Baleba. They're really sleeping on Carlos. Like, what? This man did everything in that game. Came back and won against City. Came back and won against City. Brighton versus City. Like, come on. We are not, we shouldn't be sleeping on a bicycle with this guy. I shouldn't even be talking about this in this context because of how good this guy was for this team. I don't understand how people looked at this guy and said, and this is I love what Mark Goldbridge has done for the content creators. I love what Mark Goldbridge has done for content creators. He has literally set a bar that everybody is trying to reach. But he was so wrong about Carlos Baleba. He is so wrong about Carlos Baleba. So wrong. So freaking wrong. Because what this guy does, oh my goodness. What this guy does, what he does, huh? Oh my gosh. You guys don't understand, man. I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited for this. Florian Plattenberg says Manchester United have reached full agreement with Carlos Baleba on personal terms. 100% agreed. Okay, that was done a year ago. However, no final agreements yet with Brighton. No green light for medical at this stage. Man United have submitted a £60 million bid plus a 5 million offer following Dave Ornstein, and Man United are trying to close the gap ASAP. It has to be that. We have to get him in before we even say Jack. He has to be one of the peoples to come in here without any goddamn obstructions. We need to get him as quick as possible. For the love of God, I've said this in so many times. United Micah says, bastards were waiting for the cameras to start rolling before sending out the bomber. Hey, they have to make money in every way they can. That's what United do. That right there is what United do. That's what United do. But I need you guys to understand what we have been able to do this season. Hey, United Trace, spot on with this. In a world where clubs are spending hundreds of millions on a midfielder, my club is moving smart. Absolutely, absolutely. Manchester United went in for Elliot Anderson and was willing to pay 90 million for Elliot Anderson, but Manchester City were not giving him any chance to go anywhere but Manchester City. They paid above the odds for Elliot Anderson, and they got him. And I'm not complaining about that situation because me personally, did I like Elliot Anderson? Absolutely. Did he jump out on the page the way Carlos Baleba does? Absolutely not. For me, anyway. But everybody has the way they look at things. Um, is it a here we go? Not yet. It's not a here we go. But of course, this is my first time of reacting to this. It's my first time of reacting to it. So guys, bear with me. I might be late sometimes, but I'm always going to bring the energy with it in speaking about the things that I see that a lot of people do not. Manchester United went into the situation and got Tillemans for 35 million. That right there is already, I'm telling you, the steal of the summer. We go on and get Santos for 50 million. That's already also another steal of the summer. And then we move forward and get Baleba for arguably 65 million pounds if this deal is getting done based on the numbers that they are receiving right now. Hey, just like my man says on the chat here, he says, I might hiss Ineos. I don't blame you, bruv. I really don't blame you. They should have made it quicker. It should have been done sooner, but we can't blame them because they have absolutely done business. And they are moving absolutely smart, where people are absolutely going crazy. For the love of God, Tottenham Hotspur is looking to spend another money on Savinio and Omar Mamouche. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how crazy it has to be for you to go out there and get Omar Mamouche and Savinio? For the love of God, that is after they just did Fernandez. After they did Fernandez and Sandro Tonali, and not just Sandro Tonali, also Van Hecke, because you guys need to understand Van Hecke was a defender on a 1-year deal with Brighton Hove Albion, and they paid 55 million pounds for the man that was already ready to come to them. They moved on from Van Hecke, went to get what's his name, Fernandez, Mateus Fernandez, and Man United were discussing around 50 to 55 to 60 million, and this twat, I'm sorry, I apologize, I got a little bit excited there, went and put in a bid of 80 million pounds. They got to pay 85 million pounds allegedly to West Ham. Man United stepped back. So we have been able to do a better situation. A better situation. You understand? It would be able. It would be really nice to do that. It truly would be. My guy says we're moving smart and they are just throwing money. Absolutely. They are just out here, just Arab money. We're getting Arab money. That is what they're doing. They're just here spending money like as if it's nobody's business. Just spending and spending. And you know the funny thing about this situation? Tottenham Hotspur are not even going to win the league next year. But the funny thing also about this situation is with the new rules, the new financial rules, Tottenham Hotspur are going to cry their eyes out in 3 years' time. Mark my words. I literally started a series not too long ago talking about the new financial rules and how it would affect players and affect teams. It's spread out on 3 years now and not just 1 year anymore. It's the average of 3 years. And how much has Tottenham Hotspur spent in this year alone? Oh, Lord of mercy. My guy says we used to do that, now we are better. Now, back in the day, and this is where people get it a little wrong. Man United used to break their records. We used to break our personal records. Man United, back in the day, also very few times did break the Premier League record. You understand? Very few times did they break the Premier League records by themselves. I think we just got an exclusive from Indicator, but they're not really the greatest, what they call it, news source. But let's see what they say in Indicator. because sometimes they be bugging. They really be bugging. Okay, yeah, it's the same thing. So yeah, Manchester United are on a roll right now. I honestly cannot wait to see what happens next. I cannot wait to see what happens next. But yeah, let's talk about other things that we can also look at and give you guys some updates. You say what centre back should we get? Oh, now see this is a really good one because I really wanted us to go get Antonio Silva from Benfica. If we did not get Antonio Silva, I wanted us to get Diomande from Sporting, and Diomande has left. So right now, in my opinion, I think we need to go get Malik Thiaw. Malik Thiaw is a really good defender for me. I genuinely enjoy watching Malik Thiaw, either Malik Thiaw or Zibarni from PSG. He's a former Bournemouth defender. We should just go and get them because he doesn't play much for PSG, and he is a really talented defender. You understand? Now, does he have the pace? It's a little bit shaky, but he has the control. He has the pass. He has the wherewithal on how to actually pass football. You understand? And that's the best part. All right, let's look at some things that we need to talk about because I've spoken about Carlos Baleba a lot. So, guys, it's an interactive live show. So please drop your comments so we can absolutely talk about them. But before we go any further, let's talk. Let's look at this um Mike Carragher's situation on stick to football. Stick to football. You understand?
Without mentioning Rashford,
because I think it's a disappointing thing because I need my United owners and my United former players to start talking and start defending our players more in this kind of spaces. I really need us to do that because looking at situations like this is a difficult thing to see. A legend like Gary Neville sitting there, Roy Keane sitting there, and nobody's doing nothing. So let's listen to this and let's talk about it, okay?
oh, Marcus Rashford, what do we think? Last question.
It's so disappointing. Why is why did you just look at the way he reacts to it? Look at the way he reacts to them calling Marcus Rashford's name.
Last question. Last question.
I understand it's hilarious. Don't get it twisted. I understand that they speak on Marcus Rashford a lot, but the truth about it is that if you don't speak on him, it feels like you're not going to get the clicks that you want to get. And so all this peacocking that Jamie Carragher is doing is stupid in my mind.
Original podcast without mentioning Rashford.
Just quickly.
No, stop it. Oh my God.
But what I'm saying
it's like the Trent and Rashford. There's always like a little part of the podcast, the Trent part or the Rashford part.
I wish Trent.
It's oh my God.
No, but he's come back to United.
So what? Oh my God. He's just a good player for Man United. They got.
Oh.
Like it doesn't make any sense. And then Marcus Rashford comes out and says, "Thanks, Jamie. It would be great to be able to get my head down and play football without my name being mentioned every day." Okay, that's cool. We can definitely do that. You understand? We can definitely do that. But the funny thing about that situation is that there's more to it. There's more to it. Because the last time we saw you, it's not like as if you showered yourself in any glory. However, I'm one person that believes and loves Marcus Rashford so wholeheartedly. And I want him to succeed at Manchester United. It's my dream to see Marcus Rashford break Wayne Rooney's record. That's my dream. That's one of the dreams that I have for Marcus Rashford. So hopefully we can all take Jamie Carragher's advice and stop talking about Marcus and allow Marcus to just put his head down and fire on. And so he gives us 20 goals this season. 20 goals this season. That's my goal. That is what I want for Marcus Rashford. So Marcus, kick on. Kick on, kick on, kick on. All right. My guy says, what if we don't get Lewis Hall? You feel about how do you feel about the other rumors? Now, I really don't like the young player, the young Spanish player from wherever they call his name. I've forgotten the name of the club. The name of the club is very difficult to pronounce. But one thing is for dang sure, right? I've been making this. I think the likes of what's his name, um, Robinson from Fulham. I think he's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good right back. Sorry, left back. I don't really think he's Man United quality. I don't think that he moves the needle for Manchester United. Unfortunately, you understand. I don't really think he moves the needle for us in that particular front. However, I think Man United needs a player that would be able to put the ball in the back of the in the back post or in the front post at will multiple times. Will be consistent in the way they cross the ball. Would have a rapport with our striker in Benjamin Sheshko, and that brings me to Rom. That brings me to Rom, the guy from RB Leipzig. That brings me to Rom. Now, don't get it twisted. I believe Truffet is a better situation for Manchester United. But David Rom is a talent. If there's one thing we know for sure, is that he has the ability to play the kind of balls that Benjamin Sheshko loves. Left footer, loves that floated kind of balls. So the balls are not coming in full pace. And so the power can be controlled by the defender, the striker. So it's always that floater. It's always that roll the ball around. You understand? And the balls that he gave to Benjamin Sheshko while he was at RB Leipzig, or there, he's still at RB Leipzig, but Benjamin Sheshko was at RB Leipzig. It's all pitch perfect. And he's the captain of RB Leipzig. So he's also a leader. Played for Germany at the World Cup. Played very well, might I add. Now, Germany as a whole did not really succeed as much. He's robust, understands the timing in tackles. So if we do not get Lewis Hall, I think it's time for us to go and get the 28-year-old, the 28-year-old David Drum. Let's actually look at David Drum's stats and see what we are looking at here in this situation. Because I haven't done this for David Drum yet. I haven't done this for David Drum yet, but let's look at David Drum. Because I think it's time for us to kind of focus on what we can do, especially now that we understand that Carlos Baleba might be in through the doors already. Right? We need to focus on what we can see and what we can do. So far, this is David Drum's heat map. So you can see this is a touchline, what do they call it? Fullback. Loves that forward run. He's always making the run upwards. The heat map in this situation is 81 touches. So he understands. He really truly does know what it means to put the ball in the back post for everyone to score. He's also the person that takes the instep corner kicks for RB Leipzig. So it's also a good situation when you look at the way this man plays football. And then this is where we get to the key parts of David Drum's situation. Now, the passing, it's not really great. We look at accurate balls, it's two accurate balls, not in the best percentiles. Successful crosses though. This is where I'm looking at. Successful crosses for David Drum is in 28.6% successful passes, successful crosses. So if I was to say who are the best crossers of the ball in football right now, and I think we will say Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who else? Guys, let me know in the chat who else we would say is one of the best crossers of the ball. Let's see Malik Tiao. Not Malik Tiao, but Malik Diouf. Diouf. Malik Diouf of West Ham. Now Malik Diouf of West Ham is one of the best players in terms of crossing the ball that I've seen in a long time. But I need you guys to look at his touches. I've been banging this drum about Malik Diouf for the longest of times. Look at Malik Diouf. Touches hit map 1,821 for last season. You understand? That's the heat map. But then when you look at his successful crosses, he's lesser than Rum. 26.9. So we know this is good. Successful crosses 29 to Rum's 4. Okay, this is the World Cup. I don't need the World Cup. I need the Bundesliga. Give me the Bundesliga. This is much better. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is Rum. Successful crosses for Rum is 34.5%. Successful crosses is 87 successful crosses last season. Mark says, could you do Inter Miami winning today? I can definitely talk about that. Said, could you see Inter Miami winning today? That's a different topic that we will focus on, but I believe Inter Miami has one of the best squads in the MLS, so they're always going to have a greater chance of winning the games. But this is insane. Look at this David Rum, for the love of God. For the love of God. Successful crosses, 34.5%. Thank you for the rose, man. I appreciate you. This is your first time gifting. I appreciate you, my guy. Successful crosses, 87. Big chances created from the left back position, 22. Chances created, 96. Oh, I think we are sleeping on someone that should be at the forefront of Manchester United going for this guy. Let's look about his defensive duties. Because sometimes you're really good going forward, but you suck going backwards. You understand? So let's look at the defensive. Defensive contributions 191, tackles 48, interceptions 30, block shots 9, fouls committed 29, penalties conceded 2, recoveries 153, possession 1 in the final third 8, dribble pass only 28 times last season. You understand? Clearances 104, clean sheets 8, goals conceded while on the pitch 34, goals expected goals against while on the pitch 42. So he outperformed his defensive situation last season. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I want from Manchester United. Now let's look at Lewis Hall, because I think we need to start comparing him to Lewis Hall, the person that we all want. Because Lewis Hall, I understand he is the future of the left back, but he's still a young player. His heat map for last season, absolutely dope. I would love this red part of the heat map to be more over here. That's where I would love it to be. However, it's fine. That is basically, sometimes it works because of the way your team plays football. And for Newcastle last season, they played football mostly in that midfield role, and so he was mostly here, and that's okay. Makes sense. Now let's look at this passing part. This is where people get a little bit, they get it a little bit wrong, in my opinion. Successful crosses for Lewis Hall is 19.6%. That is not good enough. It is not good enough. Successful crosses is 20. It is not good enough. Malik Diop of West Ham is better, has better stats, has a better situation. And Lewis Hall that we want, and we want to go spend 60 million on. For the love of God, I understand that he's good at majority of the things. The successful passes is good, 85.8%. But we need someone that would be able to put the ball on Benjamin Šeško's head more times than not. More times than not. That is the focus. That is what we need for our team. Now let's look at his defensive contributions. Still not better than David Rom. Still not better than David Rom. So for the love of God, why are we so pressed? Step up and go get someone else. Now this is David Rom's stat. Basically, if you do not know David Rom, this is David Rom right here. It's a little bit questionable on his haircut, but he got hair. You get me? That's David Rom. 5'11", 28 years of age. You understand? 28 years of age. But the key part about this situation is that his contract is ending in 1 year's time, in 2027. So they have to sell right now. The transfer value says 60 million, but don't get it twisted. That usually doesn't mean much. It doesn't mean much. But what I'm trying to tell you guys today, look at this. 3 goals, 7 assists last season. He started 29 out of 30 matches. No red cards. Let's look at Lewis Hall. 1 goal, 1 assist. And I'm not using the stat to be like, Lewis Hall is a bad player. I'm just using the stats to understand. I need you guys to understand that Lewis Hall is not the starting left back that Manchester United need. Not yet, anyway. He's going to be that next year if he steps up, but not yet, anyway. Not yet. And the stats are backing it up too. There's a reason why I've not been beating the drum about Lewis Hall for the longest time. Do not get me wrong. I still believe that Lewis Hall coming to Manchester United will take Manchester United to a different stratosphere because it will give us an opportunity to rest Luke Shaw and play Luke Shaw in the games that absolutely matters the most. For the love of God, let's stop acting like as if Lewis Hall is the next coming of sliced bread. It's not even bear in mind, I'm saying that because that carries a lot of weight. My favorite food to eat is bread and tea. The Nigerian way, if you know, you know. You put that milk, you put that sugar, you get the bread, you put it up in the microwave a little bit, warm it up a little bit. You can put butter, you could put blue band, you could put sardines, you could put some eggs, and you got one of the best breakfasts that you can get. But I don't think Lewis Hall is the person that we are absolutely should be crying out for. If it does not work, it does not work. We should not be so focused that we do not get a left back because this man is standing right in front of us. Right in front of us. He was touted to go to Bayern Munich until Nathaniel Brown left and went to Bayern Munich. He was touted, David Rom was touted to be going to Bayern Munich after the World Cup until they found Nathaniel Brown and brought him into the fold. That's Bayern Munich, I mean. So let's be honest with ourselves. I'm going to put a poll here. You guys let me know what left back do Manchester United need right now. So we go Lewis Hall or David Rom. So guys, I've put the poll up. Please vote down the poll. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Vote on the poll. I want to really see what you guys are talking about in this situation. Because personally, I think what Man United need to do right now is get me David Drum that would be a cheaper price and then use the rest of the money to go get me a backup striker. Am I wrong in saying that? Am I wrong in saying that that is what I think Manchester United need to be doing? Because in my mind, it's pretty clear for me. It's pretty clear to me what Man United needs to be focusing on right now. We've seen a lot of moves. Man United are still lacking in so many places that we need to cover. And for that sake, for the fact that Man United still needs to do the things that we need to do, we need to go out there and get the right person. Get the right person, just like how we got the right person in Yuri Tillemans with the money that we got, market value. Get the market value of Santos that we got. Also get the market value of Baleba that we are getting. But not that. Don't stop there. Also get the market value of the left back. And then you build next year. When you can then ship out Luke Shaw, David Rom becomes the. Thank you for following. I appreciate you guys. Hit the follow button if I haven't said it. Hit the follow button. Subscribe to the channel so we absolutely can get to a point where we do this full time for you guys. This kind of in-depth situation, in-depth live shows. That's the goal. We want to bring you guys quality, quality upon quality, no matter what the situation is. My guy says, stay hard. Vamos, my brother. So that's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Man United, we need to be smart about this situation. This is all about succession plans. Luke Shaw. How old is Luke Shaw? Let's see Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, I think, is 32, 31, if I'm not mistaken. Luke Shaw is 31 years of age. His heat map for Manchester United runs a lot. But the key part about Luke Shaw's heat map, none of it is touching the bar line. None of it is touching the bar line. Farkan says, "Are we? I think we should go for Tosin Adebayo." What? Man United go for Chelsea's Tosin? Absolutely not. I love Tosin, especially when he was coming out from Fulham. I wanted Man United to go get him, but based on what we are seeing, no, no way, no way, no way. But back to Luke Shaw. This is the thing. This is the part that I'm looking at the most. And this is the part that Manchester United have struggled the most. We have a 6'5". Okay, let me cut this. Let me cut this WWE promo right now. Standing at 6'5", 230 pounds, Benjamin Šeško, striker of Manchester United, hailing from Slovenia. That is who we have in our striking lineup. That is who we have. And Luke Shaw has 17% successful crosses. 17. For the love of God, can't we see that this is a problem? One big chance created, 16 chances created. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this so you guys can understand that, my goodness, Man United should be getting David Rom yesterday. We should be getting David Rom yesterday. And if we are not trying to get David Rom, there's another person that I can talk about, and he's from Sporting, Maxi Araujo. Maxi Araujo. You understand? Let's look at Maxi Araujo. Bear in mind, this is the first time I'm actually looking at their stats. But I look and I watch the game. I watched the game. You understand? The Liga started, so this is I know this is soft, 66 touches, but the Liga started. So let's look at the league behind. Look at this is the key part. If your feet is not touching the bar line as a left wing back in this situation, I don't think you're doing your job. K-Leg says get Hall and Mateta. We just made a case where Hall is not going to be the best situation right now. We just made a case. And we are making another case right now that I believe that Maxi Araujo might be even a better solution for Manchester United right now than Lewis Hall, because Newcastle are not going to break or give Man United any goddamn discounts. So let's let him play at Newcastle for one more season. If he wants to play for Manchester United, he will be there next season. Look at Maxi Araujo. Successful dribbles, 23.9%. I don't want my left back in terms of successful crosses to be going anything less than 20%. If you go less than 20%, the ball is not getting to my striker more often than not. And that right there is a big problem for me. Chances created, 30 chances created. Big chances created, 4 of them. So let's be real. Let's be real with ourselves. Is the hype Luke Shaw? Is the hype Lewis Hall? Or is he the right person to join Manchester United? Because I'm beginning to not think so. I'm beginning to not think so. Because Luke Shaw, this is Luke Shaw. You understand? This is Luke Shaw for Manchester United. Luke Shaw for Manchester United and I'm focused on this particular stat here because we need to start scoring more goals from crosses from our players. We need to start playing early crosses. We need to start getting our left back touching the flipping bar line. That's what we need. And Luke Shaw doesn't look like he has that in his locker anymore. Don't get it twisted. Let's go back. 2023. Where's his heat map? Okay, they did not show heat map here. I don't know why they didn't show the heat map. But let's do 2024 for Luke Shaw. Damn, they have taken off the heat map too. I guess people are not going to look all the way back at that one. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. I really believe, I truly believe that our left back should be touching the bar line. We should be touching the bar line. And Lewis Hall, don't get it twisted. I believe in his talent. He still is not touching the bar line consistently anyway. That in turn is not showing up in his successful crosses. It's not showing up in his successful crosses. But then you look at players like Maxi Araujo, and not just Maxi Araujo, David Rom, because I need you guys to also look at David Rom. You understand? This is the person that I think would be a perfect replacement or a perfect placement. That would be this thing I would say. A perfect placement. Someone that would be in there for the for just right now. You understand? Until we are able to get Lewis Hall next season. For just right now. Real Guna says, you see what Ateta is doing. What is he doing? Is he doing anything surprising? Because he is doing everything that I thought and I expected him to do. Revamp his squad. By the way, Ezri Konsa has signed for Manchester for Arsenal. So the Great Wall of Arsenal. That's insane. That's insane. You are hilarious. The Great Wall of Arsenal. Ay, ay, ay. Arsenal fans, man. We knew we were going to get this. But I need you guys to look at this David Rom thing that I'm talking about here. Out of all these people that I'm speaking on here, out of all of them, out of Luke Shaw, Lewis Hall, he said, check my last video. Oh, I'll check it. I'll check it. I'll check the last video. Bro, we need to. We need to. I literally just went, I looked at David Rom, right? Don't get me wrong. I've not watched David Rom with full focus of what I need to be doing. That's my bad. I need to start watching the Bundesliga more often. And not just when Bayern Munich are playing RB Leipzig or playing Dortmund. I need to start watching them in the full scale of the thing. But look at David Rom, guys. Now we all see this. Is this clear to me? 34.5 successful crosses. Successful crosses. He has 87 successful crosses. Big chances created. 22 big chances created. Chances created 96. You would think that David Rom is a freaking midfielder. That's what you would think. You would think David Rom is a midfielder, and he's not. Well, he's just that talented. What's up, Jay? He's just that talented. And that's why I'm crying out, for the love of God, let's get players that absolutely can fit what we are trying to do. But maximize who we have as our number 9. Say DE says Coventry is going to spank Arsenal. Now that would be a funny situation. However, though, if Coventry wins Arsenal, it is going to be a huge wake-up call to them. I think they might go on a run of a 10-win streak. Sahi, salute to you, my brother. Salute to you, my guy. So that's the thing about this situation. You get me? It's a difficult one to cover. It's a difficult one to make a decision. But I don't think Lewis Hall is the right man right now. I really don't. I really don't think Lewis Hall is the right man right now. He said, don't underestimate Frank Lampard. No, I'm not actually doing that. In my predictions, I actually have Coventry staying up this season because of my respect for Frank Lampard. He's that good of a manager so far. The amount of work he has put in to learn his craft after the 2 spells at Chelsea, I have to give credit to him. I have to give credit to him. Okay, makes sense, D. Makes sense, D. Well, anybody that underestimates Frank Lampard, to your own goddamn peril. To your own peril. You understand? To your own peril. But yeah, all right. Let's get back to the transfer. Let's get back to the transfer news ASAP. Because we have spoken about David Rom. We have spoken about what I thought about Luis. All right. It says Joshua Xerxes. Yes. So for Joshua Xerxes, what we are hearing so far is that Napoli are inquiring about his services. Napoli are looking to get Joshua Xerxes. Now, Do I think Joshua Zirkzee should leave Manchester United? No. Um, I believe he's someone that we can use in Champions League football. I believe his style of play is more suited when we are playing against Champions League teams, when we can slow down the game a little bit. The game is slower, the game is not as fast, it's more technical. It's a situation where we are focused on moving the ball better. We are focused on hitting the ground with passes. I think he will be successful there. Guys, let's hit that like button. Let's hit that like button before we go on. Laurie Whitwell says here, Carlos Baleba had a difficult 25-26 season, but Manchester United pursuit last summer plus small injury issues affected his form. United watched him at AFCON where he played well for Cameroon, also liking his data. Fee now much lower than 12 months ago. This is the analysis. Thoughts on Andre Santos? Oh, okay. So Andre Santos, based on what I've seen so far, right? I think he's a good player. Um, I think he's a good player. We do have a lot to lack of. I'm a little bit scared of physicality, pitch, and moving things around and actually getting things moving. Here that Andre Santos needs to be fit, and he's going to struggle to get fit every single time. You understand? So um, that's my fear. But I think so far his ability to pass, his ability to read the game is second to none right now in the game that we watched so far. So yeah, I think Andre Santos is a talented footballer. What just happened? I think my thing just froze. I think he's a talented footballer, and from what I can absolutely talk about so far, I think he's good enough to be in the positions that he is. Now, when you're talking about who starts for Manchester United, when you're talking about who starts for Manchester United this season, the first game against Hull, I think Andre Santos starts. You get me? I think Andre Santos is going to start. I think it's going to be Andre Santos and Tillemans, and then Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. D says, Bombo clot, Bombo. Mason Mount needs to stay healthy, bro. Bro, if I could give Mason Mount my feet, I would give Mason Mount my feet because he's such a talented, a talented player. If Mason Mount is fit, he will be one of the few people that will not be able to take off at Manchester United. We won't be able to take him off because he's that good of a player. But the truth is, it's a little difficult because he has gone through a lot. So many injuries. You don't trust your feet no more. You don't trust your legs no more. Situations just get really, really tough for Mason Mount, unfortunately. That's the sad part. Talented player has all it takes to be succeeding at Manchester United. I think he's one of the most intelligent players that we have at Man United. It's just sad that we really can't see him. Sad part is that he's still getting paid. Well, he's always going to get paid. And the sad part is not even just about him getting paid. Bro, it is flipping £250,000 per week. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. That's the that's the part. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of bread. It's a lot of cheddar that we keep at Mason Mount's bank account. Ederson on a deal off with Manchester United. He says, "No idea what happened. I have always had offers and interest from other clubs, and I could have moved to another English club. The medical checks went fine, but I don't know what happened. I always played regularly here at Atalanta. Playing regularly doesn't mean that your knee is not messed up. If your knee is not shattered, it doesn't mean that your knee doesn't have problems. So playing regularly is not the prerequisite to you coming to Manchester United. Okay, guys, now we need to talk about we need to talk about Aston Villa. What in the world is going on with Aston Villa? For the love of God, Aston Villa is insane. Dan says about time for some positivity, unlike idiots who watch United always crying. Never that for me, man. I'm always going to find a positive, no matter what the situation is. Bro, I still love Ruben Amorim. That's how much positive I am. Still love Ruben Amorim, even watching him hug our players after losing to what they call it, to AC Milan. I still love the man. You can't really look at that player, I look at that manager and not say you love him, because yes, he did make mistakes and his mistakes cost us big time, but he's still very lovable. Goodness. Sorry guys. My phone just keeps dropping. But yeah, man. Aston Villa though. Aston Villa. My God. Woo. What a team that is turning into. It's so sad to see what we are seeing right now from Aston Villa. It is sad. The entire, the entire experience part of Aston Villa has been taken out. The entire experience part. And now we are hearing that Oli Watkins is about to leave. Is about to leave to Saudi. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Because first things first, they lost Yuri Tillemans, their captain, or not really their captain, but an experienced player, one of the leaders of their group, to Manchester United for £35 million. What a steal that was, by the way. Second, they lost Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers. Third, now they have lost, what's his name? Ezri Konsa. They are about to lose Dibu Martinez because they just signed Zion Suzuki. And they signed him with the whole idea that he is the first goalkeeper, first team goalkeeper, because he was not going to sign if he was not first team goalkeeper. So they signed him as the first team goalkeeper. So Dibu Martinez is going to be leaving. It's a difficult situation for me, man. Rose Harwood says, Man United are not done. Expect another signing after Baleba. Left back still seen as a priority position, with Lewis Hall being the top of target for left back. We've had this conversation about Lewis Hall, and of course, based on what we are seeing so far, it seems like we have 90% says Lewis Hall is what Manchester United need, and 10% says David Rom is what Manchester United need. So makes sense. But Zion Suzuki, I wanted this guy to come to Manchester United. He is that talented of a player. But Aston Villa have signed him, and my goodness, do they have a talented goalkeeper? Let's look at what he looks like. Well, we don't want any copyrights. But so that's that. Zion Suzuki is at Aston Villa right now, but it's a disappointing thing, man. It's a disappointing thing for what Aston Villa are going through. It is a disappointing thing. But you know the funny thing about Baleba, right? It means more. It means more than just more than just him signing for Manchester United and what he's going to be bringing to Manchester United. It's going to be quicker for him to join that dressing room. Why is it going to be quicker? If you did not know this, Carlos Baleba played at Lille. You understand? He played at Lille. And while he was at Lille, there was one person that was there too. And his name is Lenny Euro. So it's going to be easier for him to just smooth in with Lenny Euro. Perfect. You understand? Perfect. Saeed says Baleba can play left back. I think that's what he said. That's also right. That right there is also right. And this is the thing about this team, right? That people are not talking about. This is the thing about this team that people are not talking about. This team is filled is filled with versatile players. Saeed says, born that Euro youth. I won't say that. I think Euro is still a good player. Now, is he showing us the best of what he can show us? Not yet. I still think he has a lot of steps to step up. He has a lot of steps to step up. So he's not just showing us. So it's not time for us to drop the whole situation on Lenny Yoro. But I think the idea that Carlos Baleba played with Lenny Yoro and Leo helps. The idea that Carlos Baleba with what's his name, Brandon Buemo at Cameroon also helps. Also helps. Um, okay, so Mark Goldbridge has tweeted, right? He's tweeted and he says, Lewis Hall transfer request rescues this transfer window complete. Him and three midfielders, and we are all set. I don't know. Has he even put in a transfer request? Saeed says, I want to compete. I want to compete. We need experienced centre backs. Well, that is what we are going to be seeing. I think we need one more centre back to come in to give us more competition. I don't love the fact that Harry Maguire is going to be playing and we are going to be depending on Harry Maguire to play a lot of games. Don't love that fact. Um, I also do believe strongly, I believe wholeheartedly in Aiden Heaven. I believe in him so big time. I do believe in Lenny Euro, but he needs to show this season is a make or break season for Lenny Euro, in my opinion. But I think that we can use Lenny Euro the way Barcelona uses Jules Conde. And the beautiful part about the way Barcelona uses Jules Koundé is for their rest defense. Now, you might ask me, what is rest defense? Rest defense is basically meaning when we have the ball, right? What's our positioning defensively? What is the positioning defensively? What can we do where if we lose the ball, we are also in good positioning where we can regain the ball back without losing the shape? You understand? And that's the best part of what Barcelona does. You say Euro is too tall for a right back. No, not really. I don't really think he's too tall for a right back. Euro is 6'2", if I'm not mistaken. 6'2", 6'1". I think it's possible. He has the athleticism to do all the things that the right back can do. We don't need the right back to be 5'11". We don't need the right back to be 5'4". You understand? We don't really need them to be 5'4". Like Maxi Araujo now. Maxi Araujo is 5'11". David Rom. How tall is David Rom? 5'11". It looks like right backs are all 5'11s. Luke Shaw is 5'10". Lewis Hall is 5'10". Wow. I guess there's an archetype for a goddamn left back. So Lenny Euro is 6'5". Oh my goodness. Ah, wow. Wow, that would be insane. Oh no, he's 6'3". That's taller than I expected, but it's not a bad attribute to have. I don't think his height has ever hindered him in any way so far. In any way so far, I don't think his height has hindered him in any way. So I don't think there's any problem there. I really don't think there's any problem. I don't think there's any problem there. Mm. Atletico Madrid won their game today. La Liga has started, so Atletico Madrid beat Malaga 2-0. Goal from Kangin Lee and Alex Biena. Kangin Lee that just came from PSG. I'm so happy for the cat, man. I'm happy for the cat because at least he's playing football. He's playing goddamn football, not going to sit down on the bench for PSG the entire time. But yeah. All right, guys, that would be it for today. We are going to be coming back a little bit later this evening. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button so you guys do not miss out on anything that we do here on Pillar Sports. We'll keep you guys updated and we'll go live whenever we see that people need or any news comes back out here. Sahid TV says Kangin Lee is a baller. He's insane. He is one of the hidden talents or hidden players that just sit on PSG's bench that pissed me off. He's that kind of player that starts for a lot of big sides. Starts for a lot of big sides, unfortunately. But he's not just doing the things that I expected him to do. Or he didn't do that for what do you call it? For PSG, but apparently the way he has started, he started strong. He is starting strong. He's sure starting strong. All right. We got some more comments. Monty says every player can have a bad season. Mano had had two, but Mano too had a bad season. If the manager is not playing you like Amorim did, low confidence can mess any player. Baleba is going to be lit under Michael Carrick. Absolutely. I couldn't have said that any better. I could not have said this any better. I've been shouting from the rooftop that this guy is a talent. You understand? I've said this so many times and I've put it so many times on my, what do you call it? On my YouTube page. Now, I'm a small YouTuber. You understand? I'm a small YouTuber. The way we are trying to build this community is through quality rather than quantity. So I'm truly trying to make you guys understand, right? I'm truly trying to make everyone understand that this is what I'm talking about. So you look at this. Manchester United need Carlos Baleba. I've been saying this since February 19th of 2026. You understand? I said here, don't make a mistake. Pick Baleba. Pick Baleba. I watched Baleba in every AFCON game he played. And he was the best midfielder in AFCON. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. Look at this one. Man United want Kone, but Carlos Baleba is the midfield they really need. So I've been shouting this from the rooftop. From the rooftop. And now I'm so happy. I am so freaking happy. These are the things that I basically did here. So you see, Manchester United need Carlos Baleba. Don't make a mistake, pick Baleba. Man United want Mino Kone, but Carlos Baleba is the midfield they really need. And then so on and so forth. I'm so glad, so absolutely happy that Manchester United have picked Baleba. So happy. So happy about that. Um, I can't pronounce your name, but Yeek says Baleba is so good, was so good at AFCON. He was the best midfielder at AFCON. I will keep saying it. His passes, the link up between him and Brian Bremo was there for everybody to enjoy. Now, did it happen that they won it? No, they didn't win it. but it is there for everyone to enjoy. And that was the beautiful part about it. I was so happy to see the greatness that came out of Baleba. And to me, that AFCON was the reason that Manchester United kept on pushing for Baleba. Kept on. You understand? Now, Man United are also looking at this left back called Jorge Salinas. You understand? I just got his name now. The exclusive says, having moved for Baleba, United are also serious about adding a adding a fullback. Jorge Salinas is highly regarded, and the combination of his age, ability, and release clause makes him a prime candidate. Now, let's look at Jorge Salinas. Just like what we did in the situations when we were talking about David Rom, we have spoken about a lot of people. Let's look about Jorge Salinas, because that's what we do here. It's not about vibes in this situation. We are going to focus and find the right person. Okay, so he's playing for Santander. Oh my God, Racing Santander. Oh wow. Um, so La Liga has started. So we have to look at the last season, and just like I've said before, I've said this so many times, and I'm going to keep saying it. I want my team and my players and my left back, especially left back, right back, to have the ability to touch this bar line. This bar line is so important to me. This line right here. Let's zoom in a little bit so people can see it. This line right here, the bar line where it is easier for a cross. You have a better opportunity to make that cross count than you crossing from in here. Now, don't get me wrong, crossing before you even get towards the 18-yard box is very effective because you're using the running pace to get the ball to your attacker's head, and that's beautiful. Now, we look at the stats that he had last season. Played pretty good games. You understand? Played 33 games, started 30 of them, so he's a starter and a contributor for Racing Santander. 7 assists, 0 goals. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Because I really love, but this is what oh my God. This is the key part that I've spoken about the whole time today. Successful process. Successful crosses, percentage, and also the amount, big chances created, and chances created. Because for me, right now, Manchester United have to go in and get the person that has the ability to put the ball on the head of that 6'5" center forward, Benjamin Sheshko. We need it. It's absolutely paramount. So whoever we are getting, we need to get them for them to be able to do that for us. And I really don't think that this guy is going to do the job. Don't get it twisted. Pretty good player based on what we have seen so far. Based on the little scouting here that we have just done. Has some talent in him. I just don't think he's the right guy to replace Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw is probably going to play this season and next season walk away. He'll probably do that. His contract is coming into an end 2027. I think Man United have an option. But in my mind, we should be getting David Rum and allowing David Rum become the veteran. This is David Rum, guys, if you do not know. Allowing David Rum to become the veteran, right? To become the veteran, and he becomes the veteran, then we get Lewis Hall to be the person that would replace David Rum going forward. But in this part, at least we know David Rum has the ability to put the ball in the box consistently. You get me? All right, let's get some comments. Moti says Baleba has only missed 22, 3 games in his whole career versus Kone. Is Kone injury prone? Absolutely, that's so spot on. Under 8 million, this is the only number 6. Well, I'm not understanding. The only number 6 available. Also, keep going, brother. Great videos, W community. Man, I appreciate you. I truly appreciate you, man. I truly, truly appreciate you. Those are the things that I absolutely want to hear. But you're absolutely right, too. You're absolutely right. Kone has a history of injury. A history of injury. And that is the saddest part about everything. He has the history of getting injured. And so I'm so happy that we were able to just sit down and look at, man, I don't think Kone is the right guy in this situation. So let's look at David Rom's injury record, because I think we need to also do that. You understand? I think we also need to do that, because let's not find ourselves caught with our pants down, not covering every basis, because we need to. You understand? We need to do that. All right. So this is David Rom right here. David Rom, based on what we are seeing so far, let's look. Let's look. Let's look. What is the tough injuries that he has gotten? Uh, stats. How do you check for injuries anymore? I haven't used this thing in a long time. All right, that's it. All right, so David Rom. Okay, so it's actually better. So this is good. This is good news in my ears. You understand? The longest that he has been out is 80 days. You understand? 80 days, two injuries. And this was in 2024, 2025. He missed 19 games. That makes sense. When you miss 80 days, you miss 19 games. That makes sense. You understand? 2025-26 was 10 days. He got one injury and he missed one game. So we know for a fact that he doesn't have huge injury problems. Now, based on what we are seeing so far, there are some injuries that are definitely problematic. You understand? The ankle injury has repeated twice. You understand? The ankle injury here has repeated twice, and we have to kind of call it out right here. It has repeated twice. That's a problem for me, but it might not be a problem for everyone, but it's a problem for me. We have ankle injury here, ankle injury here. We also have hamstring and muscular problems. Those two kind of tend to coincide. So that's a little bit of a problem. Groin issues do not linger as much. They do they do hurt, and they can linger. But if you stay off your feet or stay off playing for a period of time, then I don't think it's a problem. So I don't really see him having any problem in this situation. Let's look at Kone though, because Kone is a different beast. Manu Kone, a talented bowler. Don't get it twisted. Talented bowler, and I think he is that good of a player. However, his injury is just not it's not beneficial to Man United, especially because we have been burnt so much by injuries. For the love of God, that's the list. That right there is the list of his injuries. That is the list of his injuries. We have heel problems. We have inner ligament injury. That's a problematic injury. We have a hamstring strain. That's not really bad. Muscular problems usually just lingers and lingers for a long time. So he came back 21 days. We have the knee injury. It doesn't really specify what knee injury it was, but 69 days, that's a problem. He missed 4 games. But the largest injury that he has had was the inner ligament injury. That's usually the worst one, because how do you even start to solve it? But this is not all. You understand? I think there's actually page two. This is page two. This goes back to his days where he played a little bit of a different league. But yeah, last season in 2025-2026, we saw a hamstring injury. Wait. More than that. We saw a bruise on ankle. We saw hamstring injury. We saw muscle fatigue. We saw hamstring muscle injury. And then we saw muscular problems. That is a repeat. That is a repeat of the same injury. That guy's that guy's hamstring is probably made of bubble gum. It's probably made of bubble gum. And I'm not trying to be funny in this situation. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody understands that this is not what we need. And I'm so glad that Ineos agreed with me. I'm so glad that they did. Because for the love of God, that would be a whole different situation that we would need to solve and we would need to start answering questions to. And we are already dealing with defenders that have injury problems. We are dealing with Mateus Delict, not just Mateus Delict, we're dealing with Lisandro Martinez, not just Lisandro Martinez, we are dealing with what do you call it? We're dealing with Mason Mount. So we have a lot of injuries in our system, in our team, that we cannot, we should not, by the way, allow another situation go forward. Let's look at some Chelsea fans and see what this Chelsea fan says, because me personally, I do enjoy watching some rival fans and just maybe laughing about them. Prem teams, sorry, I missed this. Prem teams going for Barcola instead of Lee. It's just a shocking situation. All right, let's listen. Let's listen to what's his name? I think this is Martise, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but let's go.
When it comes to Baleba, I know he didn't have a great season last year. A lot of people are onto him, onto the signing. They're saying, oh, it's underwhelming, it's not good enough, etc. He's only 22 years old. Top players, world-class players even, had off-seasons 10, 15 years ago. It wasn't for social media, it wasn't for so much microscopic analysis that we didn't really, shed such a light on it. But you can have an off-season. If you have off 2-3 seasons, then okay, we have to start re-evaluating your level. Before 24-25 season at Brighton, we were talking 100 million pound price tags. We were talking Caicedo. We were talking he's the next one up. If he's had a down season, which he has, you have to give him a bit of grace to say, okay, but we saw what you did before. And I think Man United, it was unequivocally clear. Like, they needed a new midfielder to come in, right? They have Mainu, they have Tielemans, they have Santos, they have great guys on the pass. They got a carrier. Now in Baleba, they've added a second carrier, a more physical, robust prototype to come and bring some energy legs into that midfield. They've already got their kind of ball manipulators, controllers. So I think Man United need this player. I'm going to leave a sneaky shout though. Don't be surprised if you see him at left back at times, because Man United have been looking for this profile, this midfielder slash left back. Lewis Hall, he played midfield at Chelsea in the academy, now he's at left back. Lewis Skelly, he's moved to centre mid at Arsenal, he was also playing left back. I could see Baleba doing shifts at left back. Watch this space. When it comes to
You see, the funny thing about it is that I just said this and nobody will probably because we are small content creators. You get me? But that doesn't mean the quality of what we do in terms of the analysis is any smaller. You understand? This guy eats the ground like nobody's business. He eats the ground with athleticism and power. You think Semenyo got power? Look at Baleba. And just like what Matisse was saying, look at the left back. Look at him playing at left back more often than in sports, because he has that defensive nous. He understands what it is. He has also played left back sometimes for Brighton Hove Albion. The beautiful part about this situation is your ability as a left back or being the left back to then shift into the midfield and then become an overload for the midfield. For the love of God, we need to understand that we have a talented baller in this game. Oh, please, please, I'm begging you. Please, you guys should be looking forward to this guy playing football. You should be looking forward to this guy playing football. Baleba is the truth. He's the truth and nothing but the truth. You understand? When it comes to football, anyway. This dude got everything that you need. And the funny thing about it, the things that he does not get or he doesn't have yet is his ability to pass through the lines. His ability to basically have the pass, be standing still and break the lines with his pass. And that the funny thing is he's going to get that because he's going to be coached by somebody that did it better than anyone else in the Premier League in his days. That is what we are seeing. That is who he's going to be coached by. And so because of that, we know he's going to get better. Because of that, we know that what we are seeing from Carlos Baleba right now is just the start of what he's going to be in the future. That is what I can assure you. Now, everything is not what do you call it? It's not everything is not in this whole situation. Nothing is a guarantee. But I am absolutely assuring you that this is the closest that we can get to a guarantee midfielder that has it. It has everything. That understands everything. That has the ability to cover everywhere. So let's lock in. Let's lock in. And let's lock in. All right, guys. I will see you guys later this evening, and we are going to be keeping an eye on everything. We are also going to be going live at 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. Barcola to Liverpool. I've not seen anything yet on Barcola to Liverpool. It's going to be a tough one because Barcola and PSG are looking for around 150, while Liverpool want to pay 100 million. So there's still a 50 million gap between the two sides. So that's a little bit of a difficult one. But guys, you guys hit that subscribe button. Please, I want you guys to hit that subscribe button so we can absolutely see you guys as we are going to be going live at 10 o'clock this evening. So let's give it some time. Let's make sure we sit down. What team do I support? Manchester United. Um, you say Barcola is a scrub. I wouldn't really say he's a scrub. I just think they think he's going to be the next Mohamed Salah, and I disagree so wholeheartedly. The dude can't find the back of the net to save his life. He can't find the back of the net to save his life. But I think he's a really good player. Not a scrub, but good player. He could be better because I do believe that what's his name, Adoni Ariola, has everything that it takes to be a world class coach. So we never know. Right, guys. That's it for me for right now for this live video. We will be seeing you guys later this evening. So you guys hit that follow button, turn on your notifications, so you do not miss out on anything that we do here on Pillar Sports. It was absolutely a pleasure to come on here and talk to you guys about everything that is going on in the transfer window in football in general. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love.